Good morning, madams. Good morning, sirs. Good morning, students of JBAS கல்லூரி. சாகும் வரை தமிழ் படித்து சாக வேண்டும், என் சாம்பலும் தமிழ் மணந்து வேக வேண்டும். ஓடையிலே என் சாம்பல் கரையும் போது நீ சலசலத்து ஓட வேண்டும் என்றார் ஈழத்து கவிஞர் பண்டிதர் சச்சிதானந்தம் பிள்ளை. அவர்தம் வழியிலே சாகும் வரை தமிழ் படித்து அதை பகிர்ந்து மகிழ்ந்து வாழ வேண்டும் என்று என்கிற எண்ணத்தோடு நடைபோட்டுக் கொண்டிருக்கின்ற எனக்கு இந்த வாய்ப்பினை நல்கிய மாண்புமிகு தமிழ்நாடு அரசுக்கு என் முதற்கண் நன்றிகளை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றேன். இந்த கல்லூரியினுடைய பேராசிரியை திருமதி ஜமீலா மேடம் அவர்கள் அண்ணா இன்ஸ்டியூட் ஆஃப் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட், and we had a mock interview for IAS students, IAS candidates who were going from Delhi. There I met ma'am, and ma'am has communicated with me to bring me here to be a part of this seminar. I am very happy in the time madam, the principal and the dignitaries on the stage, the political science and history department of this esteemed institution. The schedule speaks that I am allotted 9:25 to 10:05. So now it is 9:45 actually. So we need to. I was in finance department as the kind introducer who had good words to praise my achievements, which are happened due to how they happened. Achievements happened due to hard work, as our principal madam was telling. Whether it is due to hard work or sheer luck, that we have to deliberate when we go through the sustainable development and emotional intelligence. Two important things we are trying to merge. As I started, I told that we need to decide about the time which is depletable source. It is not sustainable. Time is a great resource and it is limited for everyone. So, as I will take the responsibility to shape the track in the right track, will set the time train on the right track. That will conclude at 10:05 as given. So we will be having some 20 minutes, which is more than sufficient. 5 minutes is sufficient actually. Why? How? Because I will tell you a story. I will tell you a title of the story, which is written by a writer's writer. You will be interested to know what is the story. It's a miracle. The title of the story is Secret Miracle. I requested madam to tell people that we bring a white sheet. I hope you have. ஒரு வெள்ளை தாள் எடுத்து வர சொல்லியிருந்தாங்க. உங்கள்கிட்ட பேனா பேப்பர் இருக்குங்களா? So please mark it the Secret Miracle. This book, this channel on the internet. This short story starts at the shooting firing range, where a writer who was given a death sentence was taken there and he is about to be fired. The gun is ready and he will die in 2 minutes. In that 2 minutes, the entire lifetime's achievement he will be recalling. I will once again repeat the title because you took time to take out the sheets. And I will tell another anecdote also. Memory, our memory, how it is based on very, very fragile thing. The faintest drop of ink is stronger than the strongest memory. If you think that we have a strong memory, please erase it from your memory, that we don't have a strong memory. What we write will stay more than what our memory can offer to us. Our guest, Dr. Mr. Vivekanandan sir, was telling me in the morning about Alzheimer's disease. One senior most and a very successful businessman has lost all his memories, and he is looking like a smiling wax idol in front of him. So what we achieve so many things, and then if we are unable to remember, then there is nothing in it. So to remember, I suggest you to mark. Otherwise, you may forget this seminar. You may forget the title of the speaker. You may forget the content also. Then how to sustain ourselves?
So that I will repeat the quote also. The faintest drop of ink is stronger than the strongest memory. And the story I told was secret miracle. A miracle is presented in your seminar. So the secret miracle is about the time. The story starts with a quote from Quran, I think. It says 100 years of sleep. A person has got up and then they asked how many years you slept. And he said that it appears as 2 minutes or something like that. Because our mind is negligent of time. So that is the Einstein's theory of relativity. I know that you might be remembering that how they tell a story to remember the relativity of the special relativity of time and relativity of time. Now we come back and we go into the. I have prepared a PowerPoint presentation. The last slide will have a photograph. I have a question, and I think at 10 o'clock we will go into the question. The question is nothing but how probability assessment we can make, how we can assess a success. The photo will have some faces. Some 8 children were sitting. That photo was taken about 30-40 years back, and now one of them has become an IAS officer. One of them might have become a movie actress. One of them might become a scientist. So you need to predict and write how your prediction goes, because we human beings take decision based on what? I will make it a by communication, two-way communication instead of a monologue. If somebody wants to volunteer, how human beings take decisions? Any reply for this question? How we take decision? How we take a decision to come into this college? How we take a decision to read political science? How the dignitaries, the professors have taken a decision to conduct a seminar like this? How things happen? Based on a great analysis of logic, knowledge, data, or based on the emotions. Can some of you tell how you took a particular decision and what was the decision? If you can raise your hand if you want to volunteer, or else I will continue. Please. What was the decision?
The decision was...
You introduced me, I think. Okay, thank you.
The decision that I took was to study political science.
Study political science.
I was from science field. So when
I am a science graduate. Okay.
So when I took this decision to study political science, it was based on my ambition and motivation and knowledge to give service to our society. So when I came to know that after my 12th, when I came to realize that I had passion for giving services. Then,
Passion.
Yeah.
Good.
So
That is the important word. I will mark. We need to have passion. Your name?
JBAS.
Ajiba. Thank you. Any other volunteer? We take decision based on passion. Any other? What was the decision? Somebody from the last bench also. I used to like last benches, and I wrote a book, Padi Padi, dedicated it to the people in the last bench.
My decision, just like hers, was to pick political science.
You leave these studies actually. You take whichever the color you like, whichever the food you like, whichever the flower you like, whichever the sports you like, writer or something like that. Outside this study or something, because we take so many decisions, whether to walk or take a lift. That's a decision that changes our life. Each decision, how we take a decision.
I'll be general.
Like
we take decisions. I decide mostly on my interests.
Interests.
And which I feel has more scope than the others.
Where from the interest generates?
Interest.
We have a PowerPoint, no? It is possible. So you project, you take the first slide. You keep have less time, so I will continue.
Interest generates from the smallest of skills we possess. Like for example, I like to draw a lot. So since my youngest age, I keep drawing anything I like and
What's your
whatever.
name?
Fahmida.
அப்படியே மூவ் பண்ணிட்டாரு.
Fahmida.
Apita. Okay.
And whatever inspires me. I didn't go to any art school or I didn't learn any art classes. It's an inbuilt capability I feel. Like as
Inbuilt
days.
capability based on the passion and thank you. Based on the passion and inbuilt capability, we take decision. Any other volunteer? What is inbuilt actually? Somebody from the last bench, or else we'll go on it. If nobody wants to talk from the last bench. So where we left, we take decision based on our own emotions. This was invented by Daniel Kahneman. This is his book. This book is thinking Fast and Slow. You can write down this book. This book is written by a Nobel laureate. His name is Daniel Kahneman. His photograph is there. We will project and we will see his photograph in the first slide also. That we converted into a PDF. And
So we take decision based on our
emotions. What is emotion? Anybody know? What is rational? What is thinking brain? What is our emotional brain? We have something called mind. Do we have mind? Everyone has mind. Anybody who would like to differ? We all have mind.
So from the mind only we take interest, we take passion,
We take decision, we read, we prepare the subject, and that is how we take decisions.
So what is mind?
Psychologists have found, based on the mind only, we take sustainable decisions. Sustainable decisions come from sustainable mind.
And the mind is of two types.
That's what Daniel Kahneman has found. One is system 1, another one is system 2. System 1 is supposed to take automatic decisions, like passion. Passion belongs to system 1. System 2 will keep on thinking. This is the title which I was telling. So you can take some names and notes out of this. So, and I will leave the presentation with you also. And as I told, now after 5 minutes, that question will come, you will write and then answer, preferably from the last benches if you are interested. And usually in colleges, I have attended so many seminars, I have listened to a lot of speakers. I thought this is my duty to introduce such great thinkers to you. At least one or two among you may be interested in building upon these things. Like you may read that story I told, Secret Miracle. You might be wondering, you have any question on that story? I have to tell who has written it. It is George Luis Borges. He is an Argentinian writer. George, Georgeluis Borges, Borges. He has written that Secret Miracle, and that book was translated into Tamil in the Prapanjathin Peyar Kadai by Dr. Sengadin IPS, who is an IPS also, is my senior. He translated so many stories from the world and brought it to Tamil, and I read from that book. Then I read the original also in English.
So you may be interested in knowing how
time is squeezed, and we are going to squeeze 30 years into a question,
and you will be answering that.
Now we go to the second slide. So emotional intelligence is a very important thing. You have history and political science department here. History, the world's greatest historian alive today and thinking, and he is the thought leader, is Yuval Noah Harari. You might have heard about him. You can write. Yuval Noah Harari has written 3 books, and they are sold around 5 crore books are sold in the world. Now every contemporary decision maker or country or government wants him to contribute. to their decision making, to their sustainable development. He comments about Corona, he comments about Ukraine war and everything, psychology, and let me tell you, he has defined history. History, from the history department, people may like to know what is history from that Yuval Noah Harari. He has quoted Daniel Kahneman also in his book Sapiens and Homo Deus, 21 lessons for 21st century. He defined history. History is not the record of time. It is a record of change. This is the new definition he gives. Change means whatever has happened from the past, that we think is history. His Sapiens book has changed the perception of history itself. Then he told that change means the future also. Historian can talk about future based on the history, how it happens. But randomness prevents us from predicting the history, predicting the future. And how we should be living, that is told by Nassim Nicholas Taleb, Taleb. You can Google and then find who this Taleb is, and he has written books called Black Swan, Anti-Fragile. These books will give you an idea how to take decision, how to think, how mind thinks, how brain works. All these things are told in these books. So I told about thinking fast and slow. In this book, behind great authors have told, buy this book fast and read it slowly, you will really benefit. Anyway, next. We will run through because only 5 minutes, 1 minute is left. So you will have some sparks in your brain. As I told you, 2 minutes is sufficient. So now thinking fast and slow, I have shown the book. Next. I told about systems thinking, how patient comes, how slowly we think and take decisions. Next. This is a sustainable development thinking. This is a case study. Love Canal tragedy, you can browse and find. In America, the decisions were made emotionally. Two groups are there. Even sustainable development things also, where decisions are also taken by emotions. Next. This case study is about toxic waste in the US. Next. Alar was a chemical sprayed on apple. Finally, people were afraid to take the apple juice also. This happened in 80s in America. So we take decision based on emotions. That's what was proved. So when our brain is not ready to process slow and sustainable fear, we can only react to the extremes. That's what was proved in this. You can browse and find out more. Next. Availability cascade. We think our decision making is limited to our own priming. What is priming and all? How we take decision? That also you can browse or read these things to understand more about that. Next. Nudge is a psychological concept. It helps to take decision. What is nudge? The founder of this phrase also got a Nobel Prize. His name is Richard Thaler. He became a minister in England to help people to take decision. Taking decision helps people to sustain the world. So how we take decision based on nudge is a very good concept to talk. But I think you will be benefited to go further in this. I am nudging you. Next is unsustainable. Kate Raworth is a sustainable development economist. She says the homemakers contribute a lot than computer engineers to this country. So she suggested something called donut economics. It is not the continuous growth which is important, it is the sustainable growth which is important. Donut economics and Kate Raworth, you would like to read further. Next. This is if you go outside, it is ecological damage. If you come inside, it is starvation. This is donut economics. She is a very important figure in sustainable development of economic background of political decision making. Next. We go to that last slide. So emotional intelligence is very important. You all know Harari said, when people approached what should be taught to the younger generation, he chose not political science, not history, not mathematics. He chose emotional intelligence. The Daniel Goleman's book is very important to take decisions. However brilliant we are, to use it effectively, it is more important to develop emotional intelligence than intelligence quotient. EQ is more important than IQ. Next. We go to that. I told about 2 systems. This slide I will leave it to. This presentation I will leave it to the college. You can read, and further if you want to discuss, you can ask me again. Next. This is how we take decision. Next. I told about nudge. Next. To help decision making, people need to take right decisions. We need to help them. That is the concept. Next. I told about, you will know Harari. For those who need the spelling, and person is like Israeli history professor in University of Jerusalem. Okay, next. So they are both are from Israel actually. And Daniel Kahneman lives in US. Next. This is the photograph. So you can select one of them. The first person is 1, 2, 3, 2 girls are 3, 4 girls are there, 4 boys are there. Who has become an IAS officer after 30 years? You choose. You can tell reason for that also. Reason is more important. You will get 100 marks. Those who score the highest mark, our Vivekananda sir will gift his pen actually. 100 marks out of good imagination and the right answer. Each one of the person found in the above picture among 8 people became an IAS officer after 3 decades. And now the time is out. We can take 1 or 2 minutes. Anybody want to answer? Write the answer and pass it on. That was the original plan, but now we don't have time. Anybody wants to answer? No one. So we will close the presentation. And there is a psychologist called Zeigarnik. She is from Russia. She said things left in the middle are remembered for long time. You take Daniel Kahneman first slide. So things left without answering or completing will be remembered for long time. Now I will conclude within 30 seconds that sustainable development and emotional intelligence, for that matter, emotional intelligence and any subject is inseparably linked, because we use mind to do all the work and use mind to take all the decisions. I thank the college administration for once again for inviting me to share certain viewpoints and regarding emotional intelligence and sustainable development. I thank one and all. Thank you so much.
Sir, who is the answer? Sir, what is the answer, sir? At the Nikla, sir. Nikla, sir. I think it is you, sir.
ஆமா இந்த front roller
Front roller.
அது பால் காட்டுங்க. Any other answer, madam? Any other?
Girls, you have to guess. Left, from left to right.
The small boy is the figure design.
Sir, நம்ம இந்த சைடு வேற ஏதாவது பதில் மேடம் ஒருத்தர் செலக்ட் பண்ணிருக்காங்க, வேக் சார் ஒருத்தர் செலக்ட் பண்ணாரு. Anybody?
நீங்க select பண்ணுங்க.
சொல்லுங்க, நீங்க சொல்லுங்க. அந்த லாஸ்ட்ல இருந்து செகண்ட் தலை சாஞ்சிருக்கிறாரு. ஏன் அவர் செலக்ட் பண்ணீங்க? அதுதான் முக்கியம். பிகாஸ் எல்லாரும் போஸ்ட் கொடுக்குறாங்க. திங்க் பண்றவர் தான் ஐஏஎஸ் ஆகும். யாருமா அந்த ரெண்டாவது ஆள்? சரி, வேற யாரு? லெஃப்ட் தேர்ட் அந்த மேடம், அந்த பொண்ணு. ஓகே, ஆக்ட்ரஸ் ஒருத்தர் ஆனாங்கன்னு சொன்னா யாரும் ஒரு ஐஏஎஸ் ஆஃபீஸர் தான் கெஸ் பண்ணீங்களா இல்ல ஆக்ட்ரஸ் ஆகும்? ஐஏஎஸ் ஆஃபீஸர். எனிபடி ஃப்ரம் தி பிகைன்? எனிபடி? ஃப்ரண்ட் கேர்ள் அந்த பொண்ணு. ரைட், ஆக்ட்ரஸ். ரைட். அடுத்து பின்னாடி யாரும் இல்லையா மேடம்? ஸ்மால் பாய் இருக்கல, சின்ன பையன். அதான் மேடம் சொல்றாங்க.
நான் சொல்லிட்டேன்.
நீங்க சார் நீங்களும் சொல்றீங்க. எனிபடி ஃப்ரம் பிகைன்?
And
வேற யாராவது ஒருத்தர் பின்னாடி சொல்ல சொல்லுங்க.
and the heroine should be that one who
ஹீரோயின். ஓகே,
the
hair in the front. Okay, start. Anybody from behind? ஒருத்தர் பின்னாடி வந்து பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணாங்கன்னா the seminar will succeed actually. பின்னாடி தெரியலையோ படம்? சரி, next. Why you take the choice is more important. Madam, you want to tell some reason why you chose?
because that boy was thinking.
Boy was thinking 40 years back. 40 வருஷமா யோசிச்சு பரிச்சையில் இருக்கான். மேடம் நீங்க
ரொம்ப
பாவமா இருக்கான். சரி,
the heroine because
ஹீரோயின். ஆமா, அப்பவே அவங்க 3 decades ஆகும். வயசு மற்றவங்க எல்லாம் இன்னும் அதிகமா இருப்பாங்க.
and
அவர் ரிட்டையர் கூட ஆயிருக்கலாம். சரி, any other guess? You want to guess, madam, why you chose that person?
But the boy is very
Very small. சின்ன இருந்தாதான் பாஸ்.
I think that your size.
சார் என்னோட சைடு நான் தான் வந்து முடிவு பண்ணீங்க. சார் நீங்க தான் திங்கிங் பண்றது அந்த சின்ன பையன் சார் இல்ல பெரிய? சின்ன பையன். But she told somebody something else. What's your name? Monica. Next answer. It is completely random question. Such questions cannot be asked, cannot be answered also. But whatever we have tried is not due to the system 2. It is due to the system 1. System 1 gives us lot of ideas. Based on that only we live. But that system works based on emotion. That's what he found out. So we apply whatever we think on the data, the subject we get actually. The photograph is not a sufficient necessary evidence for arriving at a correct such probability neglect. நம்மளால இது நடக்குமா நடக்காதுன்றது ஒரு டாஸ்க் போட்டா 1/2 நடக்கல, அந்த மாதிரி brain work பண்ணாது. That should not work like that also. Those who have written the answers so have utilized their remembering mind. We have remembering mind and experiencing mind. We are experiencing something and we remember something else. So how? That is what this book speaks more about. That's how we take decision. And as explained by Daniel, probability neglect, I told, one among the person in the photograph is no more. One has passed away. Our young age or whatever happens tomorrow is not predictable. An accident can change entire life. So even though we had all the qualities, all the thinking ability, but the future is always need to be sustainable. Madam, you are right. That young boy was me only.
Okay.
Whatever we see. I am lucky enough to be here to talk about sustainable development. You need to be randomly thinking and positively deciding. You should become anti-fragile. These are all the ideas which we give. One among the no more. It is absolutely not possible to find out scientifically. Science can take us to the place of decision making. We take decisions based on emotions. So therefore, let us become more emotionally intelligent to handle the challenges of sustainable development. Thank you so much for the support and the
sir, now I could call upon Kavi